Hello and welcome, travelers, to my day 1/2 update to the bear build. I was planning to do a video the first day, but there was a bunch of server issues, didn't really get that far, and it felt kind of stupid to make a video and be like, hey, I haven't even finished the campaign. So I waited till the second day to do this video because there's a bit more gear set up. Now you'll notice the gear isn't exactly the same as what I had in the video I showcased, but it's pretty similar. We're at level 84. I think the character I showcased was maybe level 85 or 83 when I had showcased it for what to do on the character. Right now we're in the stage where we're basically fishing for blessings from our empowered monoliths. Like right now I want to get this to either be a higher all res or crit avoid, haven't decided yet. I'm looking for getting this thing to be upgraded to the higher health regen. This goes all the way up to like 200% regen per second, or 200% health regen and 20 flat. So that's an insane power boost for our character. I'm probably going to look for cold shred over here. I'm looking right now for flat armor here. I've done this timeline twice, haven't gotten anything. I got life down here, which is pretty good. You could also go for crit multi or crit chance. Any of those work pretty well in this timeline here. So that's kind of what we're doing. The goal is to basically fill out the blessings that give us power boosts to our character. And then outside of that, we are going to begin farming blood and frost, essentially looking for LP on the unique boots for the basically lose life, gain ward. Their lost steps of the living, I think is what they're called. We're looking for LP if we can on shackles. Those would be a pretty good pickup for the build. And we're looking for, if we can get it, a unique chest called Exsanguinous, which loses you life but gains you ward. And the whole point is these are all the sorts of necessary pieces we need if we're going to switch to low life. So that's all stuff we get here, because in this timeline you get the ability to basically fish for, you'll see it says body armors, and that's what we're going to be looking for Exsanguinous. So that's what we're doing in this timeline. And then we're going to be swapping over to this timeline as well, because this timeline has unique axes as an option, as well as the chance to get a twisted heart relic, which getting that with LP would probably be best in slot. There's not a lot of good mods we can get on a relic, so getting the flat strength, percent life, and maybe one more LP affix like strength on there would be something we'd look for. And then as far as axes, we're going to be looking for the Cleaver Solution axe, which gives us our int is equal to our strength, which is the source of all our ward retention pretty much. We can get ward retention from shackles, and we get ward retention from that axe, and that's pretty much how we're going to be able to swap to low life. But for the time being, as we're min-maxing our character, we're essentially just looking for stats like life, regen, strength, armor, the works. That's kind of what we're looking for on the gears. I'm going to try to link this in the last epic tools below, but I'll give you guys a quick showcase of what this looks like going through a empowered monolith right here in the Blood Frost timeline real quick. We'll swap into bear form, give you a preview of what the gameplay looks like. Now, we pretty much have permanent bear uptime via our rage gain on crit, and we have a couple nodes in the bear right here, 6 rage gain on kill or 6 rage gain on hit when fighting a rare enemy or rare unique. So that's how we completely sustain our rage. We have a bunch of leech and we have a bunch of regen. That's how we sustain our HP pool. And then as for doing damage, it's all about stacking a big amount of regen. You'll see here we have base about 770. If I go and start slashing enemies, we'll generate panther stacks. You'll see each panther stack picks that regen up, and we get all the way up to like 1300. That means that's a decent amount of damage, and that's essentially our damage source for percent damage scaling is all from the Shattered Lance set that we farmed in the forget the name of the timeline, but that's the baseline of the character. Right now we're working towards some really big upgrades. When you get to 85, 86, you get access to some really strong bases. There's a base that makes armor apply to dots. We're going to go for a base like that. There's a base that the Primalist gets up here that we have in our inventory that I just can't equip yet because I'm not level 86 for it. That makes 10% of our life gained as endurance threshold. You'll see we have endurance threshold of about 1,000. That would take us all the way to like 1,300. And we have 60% endurance. So that's a big part of our defensive kit, is getting a lot of that endurance threshold, and thus half our HP pool is actually stronger than the first half of the HP pool. So a lot of times if you see us fighting an enemy, we go down halfway. Well, we're only 1/3 of the way to dying at that point, because there's still another basically 2,000 damage they have to do or whatever to account for that ward threshold. So that's the I guess the Echo Boss, whatever that was. That's what it looks like running through the map. It's pretty much just slam, slam, swipe, swipe, and then occasionally do a war cry. That's the idea. That's how we're working it. This is not the end game setup. This is just the early game of I'm just trying to get going. Now, a lot of people have asked me about the filter. I don't really have a very special filter. It's just basically recoloring unique set items, exalteds. I have all the experimental and personal affixes highlighted just because I want to store those and kind of like figure out what they are. I have some generic idols, mods sorted, basically idols with 2 decent mods. I have recolors for basically druid specific mods I care about. And then I have a bit of recoloring for affixes I'm trying to farm. It's not special. I don't really know the process of sharing it. I might try to figure out and see if I can post it in the description. But if I don't, just know it's not a very big setup. You probably can set it up yourself in about 5 minutes. All you have to do is say add rule. You go to say, hey, I want to recolor. Maybe I want to make it this color. And then you say, okay, I'm trying to highlight uniques or exalted or set or whatever. And you make a rule that way. So we'll say this is uniques. We'll say add it. And now this will recolor all the uniques to red or whatever, right? It's not too complicated. You just need a 1 hide affix, and then you need to have some setup rule for showing each specific item type you're looking for. You don't need to worry about shards or anything. Those always auto show, gold, etc. And that's the kind of the idea. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy this video, this update on the character. I will try to leave a bit of a Last Epic Tools link to our setup, and hopefully you can go from there. I will say one thing for the weapon. We need Armor Shred. I don't have that. This isn't an ideal base. There's a scepter that has melee cold would be better, for example, but this is just the first weapon I had that I could get some decent affixes on, so keep in mind that's something you want to look for. And then outside of that, plus levels aren't too important. I would be more focused on getting yourself strength vitality. Strength vitality is most of the prefixes we're looking for, and then maybe occasionally getting yourself regen and life where you can and capping your res. That's the idea behind the character. Hopefully I've described it well for you. As always, enjoy playing Last Epoch. Hopefully they end up getting the servers more fixed as time goes on, and we can all log in and join in on some of the either trade economy if you're playing that, or the Circle of Fortune, which is very good for loot. All right, as always, thanks for watching, Exiles. Take care and peace out. Till the next update. Have a good one.